Hi everyone, how you all doing? This is Bami. My passion is to give you the tools to thrive in the aftermath of cancer diagnosis, because you see, I believe that after you've been diagnosed with cancer or a loved one has been diagnosed with cancer, you don't just have to merely exist, you don't just merely have to survive, you can thrive, you can live a fulfilling life, no matter how long that is for. And I believe that it is a choice, and it is not a quick fix, it is a process. As a storyteller at heart, I want you to imagine something with me, if you will. So imagine somebody who's been in an earthquake. So apologies, I've never actually lived through a physical earthquake, so to speak, but I've lived through challenges that felt like that. So imagine you've been in an earthquake, and then the first thing that rescuers and relief workers and experts will be trying to do first will be to help you to dig out, to come out from underneath the rubble and everything like that, and get you to safety. And then of course, once you get to safety, they want to check that whether you've got any injuries and all of that stuff. And if you come out without the physical injuries, so to speak, then it's getting you to somewhere safe and all of that stuff. And then for you, as the person who's come out from underneath the rubble, you're thinking about, okay, what's the next, where am I going to sleep, what am I going to eat? And then obviously you also think about your community, how you look to assess, you try and find a way to assess the damage, and then think about your loved ones, if you have loved ones around, or your neighbors, or your community. So over the coming days, you start grappling with the whole thing of what surviving an earthquake looks like. And then you start thinking about what are your next steps and all of that stuff and everything. So now imagine when you've come out of that, imagine days, weeks, and months. You're walking around with the dust, with the dirt, with the tattered clothes that you were wearing when the earthquake struck, and you're carrying on like that. You and I would agree that that will be odd. And if somebody behaves like that, people around them will start getting worried that maybe they've had some serious psychological trauma, which has gone deeper than anybody expected, and they will be trying to give them the kind of help so that they can wash the dust off, so that they can change their clothes or something like that. And you might be wondering, what's that got to do with cancer? Everything. You and I both know that after you hear the words, you have cancer, it's like a bomb detonates in your life. And it's similar to the impact of an earthquake, because everything, your life as you know it, is blown apart, and you have to figure out exactly what your new life and your new normal will look like. And here's where the lesson I'm trying to pass across to you today, that in the aftermath of your cancer diagnosis, have you been walking around with the dust, with the tattered clothes that you had on at the point of impact? You might be wondering, of course, I wouldn't do that. That doesn't make sense. Nobody will do that. But you know the interesting thing? There are a lot of people who do, because after a while, after diagnosis, whether you have surgery, whether you're going straight into treatment or whatever your treatment plan looks like, you then start going to hospitals. You've got this clinical appointment, that appointment, and everything. And if care is not taken, that number one takes over. And then after treatment is over, you then think, okay, it's more or less like, okay, let's think of practical stuff. Okay, are you going back to work? Are you going back to your business? And all of that stuff and everything like that. And from that point, it's almost like from the point of diagnosis, you're just going through the motions. You're just doing what seems to be the next thing, practical, let's just get through it and all of that stuff. And that's why I've used the analogy of the earthquake, because you see, you're not meant to live life after cancer just going from one appointment to another, or waiting for the other penny to, or for something else to happen, or whatever like that. You have to you have to decide to live your life by intention and by design. What do I mean by that? Yes, cancer's devastated your life and all of that stuff. You've come out from underneath the rubble. But don't keep walking around with the dust of it around you, on your body, because you are more than your diagnosis. You are more than your prognosis. You know, you've heard me say it so many times, but I will not get tired of saying it. There's more to life after cancer than merely existing. There's more to life than just chronicling symptoms, side effects, and not even think, and just going through the motions of life and saying and thinking that, oh, okay, after all, I'm doing my work, or I'm doing my normal duties, and then that's okay. No, that's not a way to live at all. Regardless of what the doctors have said, regardless of what your prognosis appears to be, here where it matters, this is where you have to determine how you live your life in your mind. Because let me assure you, the essence of who you are, whether you're a funny person, whether you're creative, whether you're serious, whether you're clever, whether you're intelligent, whether you're bookish or whatever, the essence of who you are is still within. Don't let cancer rob you of that. Don't let cancer make you forget about that person, because that person is waiting to come out. That person, that vibrant, that's creative, that person with dreams is waiting to find expression. But you have to give that person the opportunity and the permission to come out, as in the real you. So what I want to say to you today is, let the real you come out. And let me assure you that even through the journey of the roller coaster of side effects, or maybe even if there's a recurrence, of course nobody wants to talk about recurrence, but even if that happens and everything like that, and you have to go through that roller coaster or whatever, you can still thrive. So let me just, as a side note anyway, let me just tell you one of the things that I used to do when I was having frequent hospital appointments. And there have been times when I've gone through a couple of years when I haven't had that, but then recently that's kicked in again. But then what I do is, like, rather than thinking of myself as solely a patient, I remember that, you know what, I'm not just a patient. I'm a vibrant woman, one who loves music. So when I go to appointments, before, there was a time when I used to go to appointments, I'll take simple word searches with me. And then, of course, I'll take my favorite music playlist with me. So even though I am sitting there, even though I am aware that I'm there for a procedure, or I'm there for a test or a scan or blood or something like that, or I'm there to see a clinician, I still know that the essence of me is still there. And I can still appreciate and enjoy the things that bring me joy, that make me smile. So sometimes I will just watch something, maybe watch a show or watch a video if that's allowed in the hospital space. But I'll do something that will make me laugh and all of that stuff. And the thing is, like, this has never been a function of whether I have someone to go with me, because a lot of times I go to my hospital appointments alone. But what I carry with me before I enter any hospital, I remind myself that, Bami, you're not just a patient. You are a vibrant woman. You are a courageous woman. You are a victor. And no matter what happens inside this big hospital building, those things, the essence of you is still there. So I want to encourage you to think back, to take time to dig deep within and remind yourself about the true essence of you, and let that let that be reflected. Let that come to the surface. Let that come to the fore. Because cancer does not have the right. Nothing, no trial, no challenge has the right to take that from you, to crush the essence of you. But it would only happen if you give cancer permission. Cancer will grind your personality and everything to a pulp. Well, we're thrivers, aren't we? You are a thriver, I'm a thriver, and we're not going to allow that. So let me know, wherever you're watching this from, let me know in the comments or by way of email reply or something. Let me know how what has resonated the most with you on this, and let's encourage one another. But remember, no matter your diagnosis journey, no matter the prognosis, the true essence of you is in there, right? It hasn't gone anywhere. So give the true you the permission to come out, to come to the surface, and bless humanity with it. Until the next time, remember, you are more than your diagnosis. You are more than your prognosis. So go out there and thrive. Take care. Bye.